Hi, everybody. It's Jordan here with another episode of Best Virginia podcast. With me today, I have Alexis Cunningham, who's going to be featured on NBC's new show, American Song Contest.
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Alexis, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're from and a little bit about yourself before we kind of get started into what the show's all about?
So, like you said, I'm Alexis Cunningham. I'm from Huntington, really like Barbersville, West Virginia, but I say Huntington because I guess technically my area code is Huntington. Um, but I grew up there, born and raised, and I'm an artist, songwriter. So I started writing songs before I could play guitar, and it's my favorite thing to do in the whole world. So yeah, that's been my dream since I was a kid. Started doing that, and I started skipping class and writing songs in the auditorium at Cabell Midland. I'm sure you're familiar. Did you go to Cabell Midland?
I did not. I went to Scott in Boone County.
You went? Oh, right, Boone County. Okay.
I'm a
Well,
transplant.
you're a transplant. Well, I guess we can tell. Yeah, we can tell my teachers now. But I was skipping class to write songs. And anyway, eventually I moved to a bigger city to kind of experiment with sound. Did a bunch of different projects. Did a country album, did a folk album, I did a pop album, I did a punk album. I toured Europe a little bit, different parts of the United States, and kind of landed where I am now, which is, I think, somewhere in the middle, which is like indie pop, retro kind of sound right down the middle. So that's me in a nutshell. I hope
Wow.
that wasn't too fast.
Oh no, we'll,
Sense.
yeah, we'll get more into some of that stuff because I think it's so cool. The fact that you have experimented with different sounds and things like that is amazing. Just because I think that's what helps you grow as an artist is trying new things out and seeing what works for you and combining all those different things of the parts that work for you and what don't. So I like that.
I think
Um,
it's having a personality disorder, maybe.
eh,
No, no, I'm just kidding. No, I just have like a lot of different parts of my personality that I wanted to try out, and a lot of different music that I like,
yeah,
not just one
and,
thing.
and that's what music and art in itself is all about: is finding the best way to express yourself. And
Yeah.
sometimes we need different things to do that. I like it.
Yes. Yes.
So as far as the kind of music you like and things like that, are there any particular inspirations that you have, or um, any particular artists that really stand out to you as far as big inspirations into your music?
Absolutely. So when I was growing up, I really loved, like, I would steal some of my parents' albums because I didn't have any money, right? When you're a kid, you don't have any money. So I would always take my mom's Sheryl Crow album.
Okay.
um, the first couple albums I loved. I I don't know. I just thought she was really cool and like rock. And I loved Liz Phair. I don't know if you know who that is.
Mhm.
I thought she was cool too. Like all these women with guitars that wrote songs that meant things and felt things. I just thought they were awesome. I also really love John Mayer. I wanted to be like the female John Mayer for so long, and I still do a little bit. Um, I love Amy Winehouse. I think sometimes every now and then that comes out in my music. I have like this bluesy kind of like bad girl thing that will pop its head out, and people are like, "Where the hell did that come from?" I love things like Third Eye Blind, and like beachy music, things like that. Yeah. Jewel. I was a huge Jewel fan, still am. Folk music, just playing guitar in my room. That was like one of the first songs that I learned on guitar, how to play and sing at the same time. So those are some of my big influences.
Okay. And I think
Yeah.
that shows through. I've listened to a little bit of your music to get ready for this, and I got to say I dig it. And I've been sharing it with people over the last week or so, just to kind of get them oriented to you, and with the show coming up and stuff like that. So um, as far as what the show is all about, can you tell us a little bit about what American Song Contest is?
Yeah. So there's this huge show in Europe called Eurovision. It's been going on for 65 years, and a lot of Americans don't know about that. but I got acquainted with that when I was touring in Sweden back in 2014, 2015. So every country in Europe gets together and they have artists from every country that submit their songs, right? And then they perform them and everybody votes and there are judges. And what happens is they're showcasing all of their great songwriters. So that is what America is essentially trying to do right now. So there somebody from not obviously we're one country, but I think it's about unity, right? It's about bringing everybody together. Music is a great way to do that. It's a great unifier. And yeah, it's about showcasing different types of music and different types of people and songwriting in that. So I love the fact that it's original because I think there's a lot of different competition shows where it's, singing and I think that's amazing too. But luckily for me, because I know there's like incredible singers out there, but luckily for me, it's about being an artist and being creative and that's objective. Like everybody has a different favorite artist. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And that's what the show is about, being different and being creative.
Amazing. And I think that really does make it stand out with some of the other shows, because there are a lot of, which is great to give lots of people chances and things like that, which I think it has done, with the various shows like American Idol and, all the spinoffs and remakes and of that, but then also of the shows that have kind of spun out to give a little bit of different spin on things. But what I think is really cool about this show is that it does allow everyone a chance from all over the country, as opposed to concentrated in certain areas, just where a lot of artists and a lot of people who are trying to make it kind of find themselves in certain areas of the country. But I think this does a good job of allowing, because different areas of the country have different influences and different sounds. Like you got the Midwest kind of has its own thing going on, and then West Coast kind of music and East Coast kind of music, they really do kind of stand out in a lot of ways. And this gives everyone a fair chance, I think.
Yeah, plus the 6 territories as well. And it's going to be
Yep.
such a cool show. Just wait until you see some of the different artists and the different music. It really is going to be so much fun to watch and to be a part of. I think I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think we're all excited for you. So as far as, the way I understand, is going to be people from different areas competing with each other, against each other, correct?
Right. So there's five initial episodes in the pre-qualifying rounds. So it'll be split up like that because it's 56.
Okay.
Right. Initially. So it should be 11, I believe, split up per episode. And then I think there's 12 on one of the episodes.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then from there are, there's the semifinals and then the grand final, where there'll be 10 in the grand final.
Okay, amazing. So when you win the grand final, what's the prize?
They have not told us yet.
Oh, okay.
Given to us.
Oh, amazing. So, okay. And the show starts tomorrow, the 21st, right?
Yep. Monday the 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. And that's on NBC?
On NBC, baby.
So how do people vote?
So you can vote 3 different ways. You can vote on the NBC app. I know you can vote on TikTok. And there is one additional way that I should know because I'm a contestant, but I will get back to you on that. I'll email you and update you on that as soon as I look that up. But there are 3 ways that you can vote, absolutely. And I think that it should be it's an easy thing to do. Awesome. So I expect all my West Virginia people to be pulling for me.
Yeah.
Unless you think there's a better song, and in that case, then I think you should be fair and vote for who you think is the best. I'm all about fairness, totally. No.
But just in case
I do mean that though.
But also, if you do want to support the person who's representing our home here, you know how to do that too.
You know how to, yes, yeah. Totally.
And I'll be sure to share the links on that as well, because I'm out here trying to support you as well, because I think it's great. I think it's great to see, our state and our just our culture get shared a little bit, and people, the people. That's a big part of my whole thing too here.
I know. We have great people. I think
Absolutely.
everybody who comes through West Virginia is like, I love it here. The people are the best. They feel refreshed. They love it. Everybody I talk to that has gone to West Virginia, they're like, "You're from West Virginia? I love West Virginia."
Yeah,
All around
everyone's so nice here.
that 100%.
That's what I
100%. When I
always hear.
first moved out, I was like, "Did I do something wrong?" And it was kind of like, no, people just talk differently in West Virginia. They just treat you kind of like family, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. I really do. You're like,
And
yeah,
yeah,
that's what it's supposed to be. That's how we were raised.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm all about with this show too, is it's cool to put stuff out there for people to listen to, but it's also really cool for me that I get to connect. What other reason would I have to talk to some of the people I have and to be able to have this chat with you? And so it gives me a reason to be able to connect with people.
I know. It's so cool. It's so exciting.
Yeah. So how did the opportunity to be on the show come about for you?
Okay, so yeah, like I said, I was touring in Scandinavia a few years ago.
Casual.
Casual. Another extremely exciting event in my life. And yeah, like I was exposed to Eurovision and I was like, this is so cool. I wish America had this. And we didn't at that time. And some of my friends that I was over there touring with were saying, well, they're talking about bringing it to America, and if they do, you better think about what you want to submit. And obviously, I've written tons of songs, and at that point, I think I don't know if I had started writing this song, or I think I had started writing this particular song. Now, at this point, I've rewritten it a few times, and I actually, I'll tell you a secret, just rewrote the last two lines of this song a few days ago.
Wow.
Because I'm that, not worried about it, but I want it to come across. Like I'm excited about it, right? Anyway, so when the time came and I heard that this was going to happen in America, I was submitting songs right away. I actually submitted a whole album that I had been working on, and it just so happens that I got lucky enough to be chosen. So that's how it went. And I had to go through the whole interview process. It took months and months and months, and I know there was a lot of great candidates, so I just feel really fortunate.
Amazing. I'm glad it worked out for you, and I'm glad you're here.
Right? Me too.
Have you ever been a part of any other shows like this or any other competitions like this before?
This is the first one.
Okay.
So here we go, right? I don't know. I don't know what to expect other than, I don't know. I'm just going to try to be myself. I'm a little bit nervous, but it'll be okay.
Yeah. So that kind of brings me into another question. It might be too soon to even ask this, and you might not even be able to answer it. So if not, that's okay too.
Yeah.
But has kind of getting some attention with this show, because I assume it seems like a pretty big deal that our first foray into stuff like this. So has being a part of this so far, has that brought any attention to you or brought up any more opportunities for you?
It's starting to. It's starting to. I think that once the show kicks off, it will, and then I think certainly once I perform and my song is heard, I think that will happen. And I think that's the whole idea. Well, I think it's part of the idea, right? Is to kind of get new songs out there for people to hear. So it's an amazing platform. And, thank you so much to NBC and American Song Contest for doing that for me and letting me be a part of it.
Yeah, and it's all original work too, right?
All original. So every state has an original song that's going to be coming out. Which
Amazing.
is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that part's really cool to me, because you do see a lot of, in competitions, people kind of pick songs that, because it's easier to appeal to more people. It's because it's a scary thing to put your stuff out there to such a broad audience at first, I imagine.
It's not, well, it is, I guess so, but it's exciting really more, at least for me, because that's what I do it for. That's my favorite thing ever, is to write songs, even more so than to perform them. If I'm being really honest, like my favorite thing is to really write the song. That's like my drug is to, when you get it, when you're in the middle of it and you feel like you're right, like it feels like this is the best thing ever. Maybe it's not. Like the next day you listen to it and you're like, that's really not good. And if you're just in the middle of it, in the moment, it feels like the best thing. Writing a song, like that's my favorite thing. So yeah, I'm excited that it's original stuff. That makes it feel, yeah, like a whole different thing to me.
Yeah, well, it makes it a lot easier to show us who you are.
Exactly. I love that it's going to be coming from each individual artist. You'll get to hear more of their stories and like what's in people's hearts. I think. I hope so anyway. And I'm
Yeah,
sure it's not going to be, everything isn't going to be heavy or whatever. Like my track isn't heavy necessarily. It has a message for sure, but it's actually, you can dance to it and it's fun and upbeat. So, yeah.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
So that brings me to another question that I planned on asking. So what is your process typically like when you write songs, or what kind of inspires you typically?
So usually I would sit down and my guitar and start just like strumming. Now that I've said all that other stuff.
Okay.
I would start strumming and then kind of like just talking to myself. So I sometimes I need to be alone. So just kind of like talking to myself like a crazy person in a way. Like almost like I'm like you'd be writing in a diary. I'm just talking to myself out loud, and then I start kind of singing those words and just kind of making it fit together like a story. And I really, it's like a therapy session for myself in that way. So it could be happy, it could be, excited, it could be sad, it could be in love, it can be whatever emotion it is. That's essentially my process of writing lyrics. Now, when I take that to the studio, my producers, sometimes it will completely flip and they'll say, this sad ballad that you wrote is great. We love the lyrics, but what if we made this like a dance, like pop song, or like a rock song, or like, whatever, just in the way that it sounds and feels. And that can totally work sometimes,
Yeah. And I think, okay, I like it. And I think having, obviously I'm not a musician, but by any stretch at all. I like music and I love to listen to it, and I have my favorite artists and all that. And, but I think having different ears and different perspectives can be really great for the creative process, and to bounce ideas off of, and to also bounce ideas back at us. So,
gosh, yes. And and the thing is, I don't want all my songs to sound the same.
right.
You want to have variety, and that's what I like anyway. So yeah, I try not to sound the same with everything I do. I mean, yeah, I want a string to kind of maybe be able to tie it all together, the album.
Yeah.
But more like the vocal, like my vocal tone, like my voice, and then the stories. That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. So how many albums have you released so far?
None. I've held on to them. I've written tons of them, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I've just said, no, this isn't good enough, or I changed my mind and that's not what I want to sound like, or whatever. So up until this point, I haven't, and I just released my first single, and that's The Medicine. I'm sure that's what you've been listening to.
Yeah, I really like it too.
And you like that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Where can people hear it?
You can hear it on all the platforms, but I listen to Spotify and iTunes. Those are the big ones. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out, because I really did enjoy it, and I showed it to my wife. She likes it. We showed it to our friends. They like it too. So
yeah, what did you think about it? Was that what you were expecting?
No, it actually wasn't. I was expecting, because a lot of this could be tricky. No, it's not what I was expecting.
Not what you're expecting, right?
Right.
Was it? Yeah, but like, yeah, but it was cool, right? It was different.
Exactly, because I was trying to explain. My wife, she's like, "What's it like?" Or "What was it sound? Who does it sound like?" And I was like,
Nobody.
It does nobody.
Nobody right now, anyway, right?
Exactly. And So how does that feel to hear?
It feels great, because that's what I want to do. I want to kind of create something fresh.
That's what the music scene needs, I think, at all times, because there's just such a high volume of music out there to listen to, and I'm always looking for the next thing that I like. So definitely everybody's listening, if anyone's listening or watching, definitely check it out. The Medicine, right?
The Medicine. Thank you. Yeah, that's so nice. And yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I was hoping that somebody would listen to and say, but you never know, right? You
Yeah.
never know when you make something, like if it's gonna come off the way that you want it to. So that is so nice. Thank you so
Right.
much.
And I gotta
This
say, like,
is
not
a
to
huge hug. Thank you.
yeah, no, absolutely. And for what this is worth, I'm a huge metalhead. So like what I listen to would not typically be the type of music that you make, but I was like, yeah, I really dig this.
That's cool. That's
Yeah,
right. Like I feel the same way. Like I just think good music is good music. It doesn't matter like what
exactly.
genre that is, right? Because I
That's a
listen
fact.
to a very eclectic taste as well.
Right.
I could
And
listen to metal as well.
it's just got to be good metal, right?
What kind of metal it is? Yeah.
Exactly. So I have a couple questions about like uh, uh, about your personal opinions and things like that. So one question is, what would
Okay.
your dream gig be? Because it sounds like you've got to do a lot of really cool stuff already. But if you could play like any festival, any lineup, any particular show, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. Any festival, any lineup.
Like your dream show that you would play, what would that look like?
Um, I don't. This is probably gonna sound like ridiculous to some people. I mean, I would love to like play a show, like a lineup with Third Eye Blind, John Mayer, maybe Jewel would be cool to
Ooh,
have in there. Fleetwood Mac.
ooh, okay.
You know, that would be pretty amazing. I don't know. I guess I could leave it at that. If I could be in maybe Harry Styles, you know, I mean that would be incredible if I could just get yeah, that would be the lineup. I don't know what kind of festival. Maybe like Lollapalooza or something like that would be incredible.
Okay.
I'll take anything. Who wants me? I'll be there, you know.
You're going to be doing like a house show tour, throwing stuff like
I'll
that
be I'll be there. I will be there. Call me.
out. But that the lineup you just said, I would pay big bucks to go see that for sure. Love Third Eye Blind, love Fleetwood Mac. Everyone you mentioned is great.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I
well,
think you fit in.
I know. I know. I gotta just keep writing them. I just gotta
Yeah.
keep going, right?
Yeah, never
Just set
stop.
the game. Just get, that's it. That's the idea. Just keep working and working and working.
That's it.
Yep.
So, who would your dream collaboration be? If you could collaborate with any artist, who would it be
I mean, yeah, I mean,
on a track?
that list would be that list. But like I said, probably John Mayer and also yeah, Fleetwood Mac as a band, but also Stevie
Ooh,
would be amazing. I liked honestly, I really loved Miley Cyrus's new album. I don't know if you heard it, but it was like really cool and really like kind of like punk and rock. I think we could collaborate and do something really cool together and write
okay.
a cool I do. I think we could. Miley, call me. Let's do it, girl.
Hey, I'm here
But
for it.
yes.
So you said that the medicine was released. That was released in like January, so it's still really new, right?
Yep, the very, very, very end of January.
Wow. So it's still really fresh.
Yes.
So up until then, tell me if I'm crossing any lines here, but up until then you hadn't really released anything. So where did all these touring opportunities come into play?
Um, well, I have been writing music like all along, you know, and I had gone to Universal Studios in California when I was younger to record an EP. So I kind of had a little bit of like a track record, and I was getting to write with bigger writers. Like I was getting in some rooms.
Wow.
Um, I had gotten to go down and talk with Warner Brothers. I was trying to get a publishing deal. Didn't work out. Didn't give up. I've had a lot of things like that happen, you know, and that's just part of the story, right? You just gotta continue to go, keep working on it.
Facts.
Um, So that's what I did. So that's what I'm doing. And anyway, a friend of mine, his name's Eric Brazilian, he wrote the song What If God Was One of Us for Joan Osborne.
Wow.
He's done a lot of cool stuff. He did like Cyndi Lauper's albums with her and the Hooters and stuff. Anyway, he did my albums with me. He writes with me. He produces with me. His friend, who's a star over in Sweden, his name's Nicholas Stromstead, came over, was hanging out at his house, and he introduced us and said, "Hey, do you want to write some songs with us?" And I said, "Absolutely, sure, why not?" So we wrote some songs together. They said, "Oh, this song is great." He sends it to his friends back in Sweden, and then the next day it's like all over the radio stations.
Wow.
And then he said, this is it ends up being like his next hit in Sweden. So I was like, that's insane. But like, I'm really just like a backup singer on the song, but I'm a writer on the song. So they said, we'll feature you on the song. Let's do a tour together. We'll kind of help launch you. And I had written this album, which was like a folk album. And I had picked up the name, which I was of a guitar that I was playing in the studio. Because I was like, I don't know if I want to actually be a folk artist, but I'll try it out and I'll just call myself Harmony Montclair because that was the guitar I was playing in the studio. And I was like, if I don't want to do this, then I don't have to. Nobody will know that it's me. And I can just go back to being Alexis. So actually, that's what happened. But so then, yeah, I went and toured in Scandinavia with them. And that's kind of what happened. And then when I came back from Scandinavia, I said, that was amazing. And I definitely want to do this with my life, but I don't want to be a folk artist. Like, this is the kind of, then I moved on to what I'm doing now, pretty much. Well, actually, I kind of wrote a punk album first, but some of the stuff that was in the punk album made it onto this current album, like what you heard, like the medicine and stuff. So some of that stuff made it on.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Was that a lot? That was a lot of talking.
Yeah, no, that is so cool. That's such a cool experience, and to be able to see parts of the world that you probably wouldn't visit otherwise, and to be able to tour and get yourself out there and share your music with literally the world, that is so cool.
Yeah.
And also, I really want to hear that punk album. I'm pretty pumped about it now. So you gotta. So hopefully some of that sees the light of day. Okay.
We were called the Sugar Pops. Like,
okay. I like it.
Like the cereal. Remember the 90s cereal?
Oh yeah, I like it.
That's right. The Sugar Pops.
Awesome. So I think that's really all the questions I had written down for you.
Man, I was having so much fun talking to you. Okay.
I know. We can still keep going. There was one more question though that I had that might turn into a conversation here. So what is some of the best feedback you've gotten so far? Or what is like your, maybe not even the best, but what is your favorite piece of feedback you've got from your music so far?
Man, I like what you said about the medicine, that you didn't think I sounded like anybody else, but you liked it.
Okay.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite thing that I heard. I have heard that a little bit before, but I really like the way that you put it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I want to sound like something new, something fresh.
I think you do that. And I definitely encourage everyone listening, watching to check out the medicine on Spotify, on Apple Music, whatever you have. Is it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. Oh, yeah. We just put out a music video and it's like kind of crazy. We shot it with my friend and it's really silly. It's like, it's supposed to be like in a world without color. If you've ever seen the movie Pleasantville, it's like before color was discovered. So I'm like captured by a mad scientist and he's experimenting and trying to discover color, or he accidentally does anyway. And like, I have like color within me. It's like, it's wild. Igor is his mad assistant. It's crazy. So that's what the medicine is. And yeah, we put out the music video for it. So it's fun and weird and you should check it out.
That sounds awesome. I definitely will. So crazy story, or not crazy story, actually. It's not much of a story, but Pleasantville is one of my favorite movies of all time. So so I definitely have to check it out now.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Most of the time when I tell people that, they don't even know what it is, but it's a shame. But yeah, love it.
It's the
So check it
it's
out.
the West Virginia connection. I think it's
Yeah,
a West Virginia thing.
yeah. Matter of fact. So, um, did you have any questions for me or anything that you'd like to share with the listeners about yourself, about your music, about what's coming up on the show? Anything you can share?
Just that this is a voting based show. So if you watch, so please vote. And, you know, if I happen to be your favorite song, your favorite artist, then I really would appreciate it. Yeah. What else? The song comes from my heart. Absolutely. And like face value, it's a love song, like a relationship song, but like really bigger picture, it's a love song to yourself. Like you could be looking in the mirror, saying it to yourself, like
Okay.
never give up on yourself, never give up on your dreams. Like you're always work on, your thing, your miracle kind of thing. So yeah, positive and cool, and it's different, and you can dance to it, and it's fun. So all those things, that's what's to expect. It will be colorful because that's what I do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it so much. And I definitely want to hear this song. But also something we didn't really touch on that just popped in my head. So one last question here.
Yeah.
What is the performance like as far as the show goes? Should we expect big performances?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a full big production. And as you move forward in each round, the production gets bigger and bigger. So
Awesome.
vote.
Yeah, everybody heard that. You heard it from
All
her, you
right.
heard it from me. You
The
got to
echo.
vote.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so
Felt
much
like
for
I'm
joining us.
home talking to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. That's what the show's all about.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.